Good afternoon, listeners of Joy 106.3, and thank you for tuning in to today's show. Today, we will be spotlighting the Urban Chamber of Commerce of Volusia and Flagler counties, and speaking with President and Founder Kennedy E. Jacobs Sr. He is a local business owner and pastor, a professional chaplain, community advocate, and adjunct professor with Bethune-Cookman University. He's a 54-year resident of Volusia County. Welcome to the show today, Mr. Kennedy E. Jacobs Sr. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fine. Thank you, Mr. Terrence. I'm happy to be here. I want to thank you for this opportunity and platform to share about the Urban Chamber of Commerce of Volusia and Flagler County. Let me also extend a thank you also to the owner, Mrs. Patricia Cadet, for this opportunity as well. We're excited about what's possible within Volusia and Flagler County.
And thank you again. Thank you for being a guest here on today's show. Now, I do have a few questions for you. I want to start into exactly what is the Urban Chamber of Commerce of Volusia and Flagler counties?
Well, I'm glad that you asked. The Chamber, the Urban Chamber of Commerce of Volusia and Flagler counties is a non-profit organization recognized as a corporation in the state of Florida and registered. It is also recognized by the IRS as a 501c6 corporation as well. Allow me to share three objectives I think that will make clear what the Chamber is all about. It will be a thought leader for the interests of the underserved and minority-owned businesses to diversify and to improve the economy and quality of life in Volusia and Flagler counties of the state of Florida. Secondly, the Urban Chamber is there to preserve the competitive enterprise system of business by enhancing the financing and competitive capacity of underserved minority-owned businesses, creating a better understanding of the value and importance of minority business owners, establishing tangible goodwill in the public and with strategically aligned businesses on behalf of minority-owned businesses, and consolidating and aligning local, state, and national legislative and political affairs affecting its members. I just wanted to share that as a directive of what the Chamber desires to do.
So my next question is why? Why do we need an urban chamber of commerce when we have several chambers across Volusia and Flagler counties?
Well, Terrence, that's a great question. And many people, as I've been dialoguing over the last few months, I've asked that question, Kennedy, why another chamber? I read an article from the National Black Chamber of Commerce. They had posted an article said there are 15 reasons why we need black chambers. Well, I would like just to share one due to our time restraint. Someone wrote this comment, said the time is now. Black chambers are important because they give communities more opportunities to unite and develop not only their personal economic growth, but also their self-worth. Moreover, people of color, particularly African Americans, have been born without luxuries such as old money and legacies to endow their children. But black chambers encourage individuals to think outside of the box. That includes thinking about subsequent generations instead of themselves. Black chambers are educating others that the future is not just for us, it's for my family and your family. Cast down your buckets, strengthen the roots around you and begin to grow and build economically as high as you can. But never forget that you must consider those around you during your production of wealth. Strength comes in numbers. Wake up, smell the coffee. This was written by a person named Mr. Thomas Alfred, founder of Kristen's Coffee. And I want to share this, my own words from Kennedy Jacobs. This is about the future of our children. Where will they live? Where will they be accepted? Where can they thrive? And where is the place that our children call home? The key is cultural competence, context, and social location. It's hard to see like us if you have never been us. And those are my words.
Well, my second question, instead of dividing, do you think that the Urban Chamber of Commerce can bridge the gap of disproportionate opportunities, investments within the business sector?
Terrence, I think that's a very relevant question that you've asked. I want to reply by saying this. There is a difference between the word divide and diversify. Divide means simply to separate or to be separated into parts to disagree or to cause to disagree. But diversify means make or become more diverse or varied. In business, it is understood to mean one who enlarge or vary its range of products or field of operation. Perhaps we, the residents of Volusia and Flagler counties, might see a better tomorrow if we could diversify instead of divide. The time is now to build a bridge, fill the gap, and see change take place. So the Urban Chamber of Commerce of Volusia and Flagler County has no thing in line or in vision to divide what's already existing. What we would desire to do is to create the platform to build the bridge, to enlarge and build capacity is what we desire to do.
So with the present climate in our nation concerning equality, equity, access, do you think that the Urban Chamber of Commerce can be instrumental in bringing a reality level playing field and a true sense of community?
Well, I think, Terrence, that's a big question. And I think that question requires a big answer. I don't know how much of that answer I can give, but I will definitely attempt so. How can anyone declare or predict what another person will do? And I think that's what we have to be careful of, speaking for others. However, what one can say is what he himself will do. And that's what I desire to do today. As a founder, I believe I, along with you and others of like common core values, can create the platform of which policy, innovation, collaborations, and implementations can be established for real change. The climate suggests in our nation that this is a season for equality, equity, and access. Allow me to raise this argument. Equality is different from equity. Equality says that we may be equal, but equity says I don't have to allow you to entrance or to enter in the same benefits or privileges that I have. Access says this: there are keys that were never issued to you. So you ask, can the chamber be instrumental in leveling the playing field? I believe the answer is yes, because now they can participate in the design of the field and how the game should be played. So we want to be a part of that type of transformation.
All right, well, thank you, Mr. Jacobs, for answering my questions. I'll go ahead and let you have the floor to discuss the Urban Chamber a little further.
Well, Terrence, listen, I thank you once again. One thing I wanted to do briefly is to talk about what motivated this. I think the passion behind any vision, the passion behind any endeavor is what is the motivation behind it. And today there's a simple motivation for the Urban Chamber of Commerce of Volusia and Flagler counties. The motivation is our children. We have to build a better commerce, a better community, a better lived environment for our children. I have 4 children, and my question is, where will they live if we do not transform the business, urban marketplace of this area? And so today, I'm here for that reason, to fight for the children, to fight for their families, but more importantly, to bring a better quality of life for people of color, for people within the urban context. And so we want to address that directly. And so I wanted to say that motivation is to fight for the children. Matter of fact, who can argue against making a better world for the ones who are coming behind us? And that's our motivation. While I was here today, I brought 2 of our colleagues today that are working a part as the executive team of the Urban Chamber of Commerce. And I want to welcome on with me today, Ms. Devin Bradley. He is our community relations coordinator. Ms. Devin, welcome to the program today. Thank you for joining me today on this wonderful opportunity.
Thank you so much for your kind welcome, and it's a pleasure to be here as well.
Yes, I'm happy to have you. I'm happy to have you here. And there was just some things I would like for you to kind of reach out and kind of share. I wanted to ask a question that you might can maybe shed some light or some insight from the perspective of the Urban Chamber of Commerce of Volusia and Flagler counties. And so the first thing I wanted to ask, Devin, if you won't mind sharing, is how do you think, how can an Urban Chamber of Commerce serve the community and add value to the holistic vision of perhaps Volusia and Flagler County, Daytona Beach, and our surrounding area? How do you think that we can add value to a holistic vision that has been pertaining to our lived environment?
All right, the Urban Chamber providing value to the vision, the Urban Chamber providing value to the vision of this area. I think the way that the Urban Chamber will be able to provide that value is first looking at the vision. And I think the vision of Daytona Beach would be one that would have a prosperous community a vision that would have an expanded economy that is thriving, allowing individuals within the community to enjoy the opportunity to earn a living and be able to use those excess funds to really enjoy their life. And also just a community that would have a flourishing environment, not only for its citizens, but for the visitors and those who will travel to this community to enjoy it as well from the outside. And so within the dynamics of life, of education, of recreation, and just of a lifestyle of enjoyment, I think the Urban Chamber will be able to provide and enhance that vision through the core of who we are, through the leadership, through the thinking, through the minds that will have a part of this chamber, bringing together community, bringing together collaboration to enhance the urban presence within the business environments here, creating more opportunity for the citizens to be able to enjoy opportunities for careers, to start businesses, to also collaborate with other businesses that are here. And through that collaboration and through our community thriving, Daytona will thrive as well and be able to be a rising tide where all the boats that are floating will rise higher. And so when we even have individuals coming into town for events, they would want to revisit Daytona, not just for an event, but revisit Daytona because it is a thriving community. So I think we can enhance the vision with our presence by adding more minds, more manpower, more social power, more economic power, and just the love that we share for the community to be able to pour back into it and allow others to become their best as well. So we can have a strong presence in enhancing the vision of Daytona.
Mr. Bradley, that sounds very hopeful, sounds very positive and something to aspire and to inspire, in my opinion. One of the things I wanted to make comment of that is that there is a vision for our county. There is a vision for our city. I think the Urban Chamber of Commerce have the opportunity to say, is that vision inclusive of urban life and the urban lived experience? I think we have an opportunity to offer that to the powers that be, to offer that to our own community, and more importantly, to be a part of that value add to our city's vision and to our county's vision as well.
And I would definitely agree and concur with that. Like I said, being a part of the vision, because oftentimes, like we said, being at the table is something for us that is hard to do as our Black culture and Black individuals, Black businesses, Black representatives, to have that voice, and not just a minority voice with just one or a few, but collectively. And so I think, like you said, being able to include our vision into the overall corporate vision of Daytona and being able to create a synergy amongst everyone, I think is very important. So that dynamic you mentioned, I think is very relevant and absolutely necessary as well.
Very well said, Mr. Bradley. One more question I want to share with you today. How can the Urban Chamber of Commerce ignite the community? Some thought that the community had fallen, or perhaps had fallen asleep, perhaps that we were not motivated, or the aspirations of the urban community had died out. Obviously, we all are different with that opinion, but how do you think that the Urban Chamber of Commerce of Volusia and Flagler counties can ignite that hope, can ignite that fire and vigor within the urban community to bring about a positive change for transformation?
How can the Urban Chamber ignite the community, bring about that change and hope? I think the key to the Urban Chamber being able to do that is, like I said, just shifting the attitude, shifting the energy, shifting the environment. Like I said, igniting something means there's something there to be ignited. And therefore, the potential I believe that we have here in Daytona is second to none. We are a great city, but many individuals look at Daytona as lacking in certain areas. And very rightfully so when we kind of compare it to other places. But I think comparison sometimes can be a downfall for us. And I think we should focus within and say, hey, how is Daytona going to be successful? And as the Urban Chamber engages in this mission and vision that we have, it's not comparing Daytona to Miami or Orlando or Tampa or New York or California, but looking at what we have here and understanding there's a hidden potential, a dormant potential that needs to be awakened, needs to be shaken. And the Urban Chamber can be an igniter to that with the leadership presence of the individuals involved in the chamber, connecting with other leaders and igniting the leadership abroad in other areas of the community. And through that, just bringing a shift in the attitude, a shift in the thinking, and understanding that we can maximize our opportunity here to have a thriving city beyond just a tourist coming in and coming out, but have a thriving city where individuals are seeking to come here to enjoy a prosperous, loving, beautiful life. And the Urban Chamber can bring together that energy, that love, and be an example, be that light on the hill for individuals to look at, and they can see the Urban Chamber thriving because the members that we're connected with are thriving, and that we're encouraging Daytona to move forward in a more powerful, inclusive way. And like we said, together we are better. Teamwork makes the dream work. And as we be able to move forward, I think there's hope in seeing the opportunities that others have around us. Like I said, it's a tight, tough situation, but there's always hope based on your perspective, based on your vision. And I think the leadership of the chamber and the leadership of those involved in the leadership of this city has a great vision, a great mindset. And I believe that we all need to take it to the next level. And I think we can be an igniter to that, to really push things forward and keep the ball moving forward. So I'm excited because we can bring a great attitude, be an example of love in a loveless time where there's so much bickering, divisiveness that we see. But like I said, I think that love that we will represent will be key, the thinking that we would have, and just a great attitude of success and prospering for not only just the urban community, but also looking for the urban community to be inclusive of everyone, and everyone's success is going to be the best for Daytona and its constituents.
Mr. Bradley, I tell you, I'm very encouraged. You use the word potential, and I keep hearing that. You keep saying that there is potential. So often in the urban community, there's always the conversation about what's wrong, what we don't have, what's not happening, who's not there. And we oftentimes fail to recognize what is there, the value of what already exists. And that's the vision of the Urban Chamber of Commerce of Volusia and Flagler County. Not only to acknowledge what's already there, not only to uncover the potential, but to realize that potential. In other words, to set a platform that resources, products, and services can join hands and be effective and relevant to the area in which we serve. And so that word potential has really driven me and really pushed me to that place where I believe that that's what the Urban Chamber really has the potential to do, is to recognize and identify the resources and value that is already within our community. And the future is unlimited if we can do that.
And I would second that. And I think a key part for us is the awareness, and just making everyone aware of the greatness that we have within this city. And the city is not the buildings, it's not the beach, but it's the people. And if we can awaken, ignite, and help individuals understand the power that they have to not just sit and complain or sulk or be satisfied or content with the situation here in Daytona, but understand that everyone has a part in this city being better, and that's starting with themselves by becoming better, and that they have businesses and even more impact on the current jobs that they're working in to make everything enlarge. And so if we can get that recognition and identify our value, identify our purpose, I believe Daytona will be one of the best cities and can be one of the best cities, not only in Florida, not only in the United States, but the world. And that potential is here, and I want to awaken and ignite that potential. And I'm glad to be a part of this initiative through the Urban Chamber to be moving that ball forward, because we can do it.
Mr. Bradley, I'm happy to have you part of the team, and bright minds like yours, motivation and inspiration that you provide, and especially when I say young minds. I appreciate that God is going to use persons like yourself and others to make this thing a reality. And I'm so grateful today that we have you a part of our team. Before I call another guest to this particular segment of the program, I want, for those of you who are listening today, say, well, how do we learn about this chamber? Where is it? How can we find information? I want to first of all share that you can go on the web, the World Wide Web, under businesswiththeu.org. I'm going to say that again, businesswiththeu.org, all spelled as one word, businesswiththeu.org. That is our website address. Our Facebook, if you want to find us on Facebook, you can go to Biz with the U. That's B-I-Z with the U. That's our Facebook identifier. And then if you would like to call and ask information, that we will get back with you. Our phone contact is 539-444-8438. That is 539-444-8438. And we look forward to not only dialoguing, but to sharing information with you and what's getting ready to come up. Matter of fact, before I call my next guest, there is an opportunity that is being presented on tomorrow. The Urban Chamber of Commerce, our first launching event, our first public exposure. Tomorrow we are recognizing some local business owners here right in Volusia County. We are extending an award for our first Blue Ribbon recipient business owner, the Crab Stop on International Speedway owner, Mr. Oliver Ross. We're excited about this event that we're going to be hosting on tomorrow. We're inviting business owners, those of you within Volusia and Flagler counties and even outside of the county. You see, Kennedy, we've not networked. We're starting that network opportunity. We're starting that ability to build relationships. And it's going to happen on tomorrow. That is February the 27th from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. You will find there at the Crab Stop that we're going to be sharing information. There will be live music. There's going to be business owners, sharing their information with other business owners, and it's going to be a wonderful time. But here's what we want you to do. We're trying to call the entire community, and this is what we say about lifting up others, that every person we know, we're going to drive to the Crab Stop, and I want you to buy something. I want you to eat something, frequent that business. We're going to do this quarterly, that we're going to go to businesses, business owners, to encourage, to uplift them, and to empower them. And so tomorrow at 11 to 2 o'clock, we're going to ask everybody in Volusia, Flagler County, until Crab Stop has to turn us away. But we want you to show up, and we want to celebrate this owner and his business and the work that they've done, and the opportunity for employment for some employees that are employed there at that establishment. But that is tomorrow, February 27th from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. We call it the Community Business Roundup. The Urban Chamber of Commerce, Volusia and Flagler counties are presenting the Community Business Roundup. Be there, and let's begin a place and a time of change. So thank you so much. I have someone else that is a part of our executive team. I'm very happy to work with this young lady. She has been very instrumental within the context of Volusia County. Also, she's worked for many years in this environment. I want to invite her. She is the public relations representative for the Urban Chamber of Commerce of Volusia and Flagler counties. And I want to introduce her to you today, Mrs. Belinda Williams-Collins. Belinda, I want to thank you for taking the time out for, first of all, sharing today in this opportunity. Again, we want to thank Mrs. Patricia Cadet for making this possible with Joy 106.3 to engage the Urban Chamber of Commerce of Volusia and Flagler counties. But the work that we have been doing over the last 10, 11 months in preparation and research to get this organization established and to begin forward movement. And so as a public relations person, Ms. Belinda, I wanted to ask a couple of questions to you to share to our audience today concerning some true objectives and some true insight of what the Chamber motivations and what we really desire to do. So the first question I would like to pose to you today, if you would mind sharing, is what is the objective for us galvanizing the urban business community? Why are we trying to pull the urban business community together? Why is our objective to galvanize the community now?
Okay, well, our purpose is to help those businesses out there realize that they are not alone. I know, especially with the situation happening with the pandemic and so many of the businesses having to close or slow down their business, it seems like nobody's out there to help them along and to keep them going. Their customers aren't able to reach out to them. They aren't able to get in contact with vendors, and so other resources are probably not in place for them as well. But the objective that the chamber holds is to, like I said, to help them realize that they are not alone and that there are resources out there to help them thrive and help them to grow and help them to be the best that they can be. So we want to enable them to help obtain those resources. A lot of times they're so busy with just the business of running the business that they don't have time to do the research and find out what opportunities there are for marketing information or other information that's going to help enhance their business. So I see this organization as a clearinghouse, so to speak, to help gather all of those resources and have them in one forum so that they can come to us and ask what type of things do you have that can help me to improve my business. So the U is a means to get that education and information to those businesses. I think we need to break the cycle of thought that certain people don't know how to operate a business and how to have a prosperous business. If you were to look at the sheer number of businesses, small businesses that are out there, I think the community would be surprised about how many things that there are available and how many people are actually in business. And that's just because you don't see them a lot of times. There are a lot of smaller businesses. We see some that have storefronts, but there are some things that are operating perhaps as home-based businesses or in other ways. There may be businesses that come to you, for example, mobile car services. So I think it's important for us to let the community know what types of goods and services there are out there so that they can partake, because it's important that we support our own. And I think if we understand that we know how to provide goods and services that are competitive with goods and services that are more well-known, then I think we would get out there and support our own businesses. So those are the things that I think the Urban Chamber of Commerce is charged to do.
And Belinda, I'm so grateful that you shared about the sharing of resources, creating a platform for the sharing of resources and information. And I think it's the ability to build capacity. And I think as a public relations person, building capacity in others, building capacity in our reach as an urban marketplace is so vitally important, especially in times such as these, that we must expand, we must enlarge, we must see bigger, because we're in times now that innovation is necessary. So I want to thank you for bringing that subject up of sharing of resources, sharing of the possibility of building capacity in individuals as well as their businesses in which they lead and guide. The second thing, Belinda, I would like to ask today, I've heard that the Urban Chamber of Commerce have adopted several pillars from the African Kwanzaa experience to keep us to have a clear focus contextually, culturally, in the climate in which we live. You've been very instrumental in guiding that. And I want you to talk a little bit about, why do you think the Urban Chamber adopted these values as a part of our focus and a part of our pathway to success for the Urban Chamber of Commerce?
Well, it's really common sense. To sum it all up, there's often no need to reinvent the wheel in different circumstances. So with the Kwanzaa principles, we've always had the answers, but we've let them sit sort of in the attic collecting dust, and we haven't really utilized what I think are jewels that are valuable, and we just have lost sight of that. So when you understand that we know how to operate thriving businesses and have known so as early as the 20s. We surely can do that today. So by using the principles of Kwanzaa, we can reinvigorate successful business in our community, and we can realize that the businesses that are in our communities are valuable, and they can work off of each other. If we have an understanding of what's out there that could support my business, I think we'd have the desire to, use each other and the services that we provide to help us create some synergy, to create some growth. And one important thing that we need to remember is that we need to start to recirculate the dollars that we earned in our jobs or whatever throughout our own community, because once we start to do that, then that will really get this economic engine that you talk about. It will really get that engine going. And, once the engine is going, then the entire community can start to go places. So the principles of Kwanzaa there's 7 principles, and those principles are just a backbone of how we can support each other, and how we have faith in each other, and how we can motivate each other to progress so that everybody is thriving. We can't afford to live in vacuums. We have to understand that, if you support me and I support you and we all support each other, then before you know it, the community has gotten a lot better. So the Chamber has adopted those principles, and as most people know, Kwanzaa is typically celebrated at the very end of the year. So with so many things going on with the regular holiday season, it can get lost in the shuffle. And it is literally at the very end of the year, the last 7 days of the year. So a lot of people are, may be spent. Money maybe all be spent. They're tired, getting ready to get back to work, back to school. And so I think Kwanzaa is kind of wasted. So what we want to do in utilizing these principles in how we operate on a day-to-day basis is to educate our community on those on an ongoing basis, so that we're not just relegated to the last 7 days, but we use these principles in everything we do, in every day, every week, every month of the year, so it becomes a part of us, and it keeps us going throughout the year. So those principles are, just some basic, beautiful principles. And when we start to utilize those are going to strengthen the businesses and help them grow. So, that was just a no-brainer to use those. And they were there waiting for us to, like I said, to dust them off and to use them. So that's what we're planning to do.
Well, Belinda, that's very, very, very encouraging, and I think it's very needed. I was speaking to a business owner the other day, and he said, Kennedy, the most important thing for a successful business is to build culture in that business. In other words, what kind of culture does that business operate on? Being a graduate of 2 HBCUs, to understand, looking through the lens of urban culture, Black culture, brings about a different perspective on many levels. So when our public relations person, Ms. Belinda, brought up this concept of using Kwanzaa principles as a part of our day-to-day operational thought pattern, I thought it was very necessary, because we have to educate ourselves how to love ourselves. We have to educate ourselves how do we work together. Being at Howard University, getting a higher level of education through the lens of an African-American experience was overwhelming. How politically, how laws, how legislation is affected by the lens in which you perceive life. And so today, as the Urban Chamber of Commerce, people are saying Kennedy is just another chamber, but it's through the lens of those of us culturally that are experiencing life through a different lived experience. And that's how I would like to communicate that, articulate that these Kwanzaa principles not only must be educated to the public in general, but even within our own communities. Do we understand what our cultural experience really looks like? Do we understand how we take that cultural experience and make an impact on the world around us? And so, Belinda, I think it's been so motivating for me as a founder, as a leader, to say, as a team of thought leaders, as we've come together, I think it's the motivating factor to say how we should operate, how we should treat one another, and how we should build trust one within another. So I want to thank you for just being here today and providing that information for our listening audience, that they can get a kind of understanding publicly of what we desire to give out, the concept of what we stand for and what we represent. So Belinda, we're so grateful for you to be with us on today. I want, first of all, to remind, before I'm going to turn this back over to Mr. Terrence Thomas, who has been so kind, our host today, and also Mrs. Patricia Cadet, for setting this platform. And this is a beautiful opportunity. But I want to just remind you all again, so how do we get in touch with the U? Well, our website is businesswiththeu.org. Our Facebook recognition is Biz, B-I-Z, with the U. That's Biz with the U is our Facebook recognition. And then also our phone contact is 539-444-8438. And then on tomorrow is our big launching, celebrating our Blue Ribbon recipient, the Crab Stop and owner, Mr. Oliver Ross, 933 International Speedway. We will be there from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. with live music and other recognitions of local business owners, networking with business owners. You want to be there. And we're calling you there not for just to witness the Urban Chambers launching, but we want to uplift the Crab Stop. We want every person that you know, call them and tell them, go to Crab Stop tomorrow between 11 and 2, and we're going to frequent this business. We're going to encourage them for the work that they have been doing. So please, I want to invite you out as my personal guest. Let's come. Let's make a difference in the life of this business owner is our prayer. So Mr. Terrence, I want to turn this back over to you, and so you can guide us from this point, but I just wanted to give an opportunity for some of the representatives to kind of speak on behalf of the Urban Chamber.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Jacobs. I want to use this time to give our listening audience an opportunity to call in and ask questions. Our calling number is area code 386-516-8031. Again, that's 386-516-8031. If you have questions for Mr. Jacobs here, the founder president of the Urban Chamber Community of Volusia and Flagler. And again, you was mentioning about the business roundup and your first event, or not first event, but one of your upcoming events is tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
This is going to be a continuous thing, correct?
Yes, sir. That's going to be a continual effort. Every quarter, we're going to be doing business owners, that we call it the business roundup, but we're creating the environment for exchange, creating the environment for networking, creating the environment that we're now getting to identify, again, our resources, products, and services that not only do we provide for our community, but that we can provide for one another. So the community business roundups are very powerful. We already have one of our banking institutions willing to partner for this community business roundup. I'm proud to say that PNC Bank is one of our proud sponsors that are willing to step aboard and say, Kennedy, we know the time is now, the equity for businesses and community. And so they have made known that they're ready to back and to support these community business roundups. So I want to say to all of you, if you are a business owner tomorrow, it's very, very important. And I'm not counting how many there will be. I'm counting the ones who have the same common core values. But we want to invite you out tomorrow to be a part of this great event from 11 to 2 p.m. on tomorrow at the Crab Stop.
Okay. All right. Thank you again. What I would like to do for a moment, we need to take a break and then we can come back up and kind of summarize everything. But I'm going to go ahead and take a break and we'll be right back.
Thank you.
And we're back here speaking with Mr. Kennedy Jacobs. All right, welcome back. I kind of want you to touch on the benefit of, let's say I'm up and coming business owner and I make the connection with the Urban Chamber, what type of help, how do you assist a new business owner? What are some benefits?
I think that's a great question. I think the benefits start, as Belinda touched on, creating the resources, the tools. There are young entrepreneurs, new business owners that are beginning, which some are taking a year, 2 years to get off the ground, to get these initial stages started. But being a part of something like the Urban Chamber of Commerce creates a networking possibility where there is expertise, thought leadership already to the table. So the thing that you're working 2 years to start or begin, the expertise is there to do what? Assist you in that thought process and to make available and access the tools that you need to get started. So I think for the young entrepreneur that it is advantageous to take advantage of something like this, that not only that it brings value to your business, but it gives the possibility of a greater success rate if you were connected to persons who are able to help assist in that upcoming business that you desire to start.
All right, thank you. And we're coming to the end of the show here. And again, I appreciate you being a guest here. One of the other benefits, as you stated right before commercial break, is the Community Business Roundup, which another event is tomorrow. If you want to go ahead and kind of revisit that here, just for those who may be just tuning in, what time and where will the next community roundup be held?
Well, thank you, Terrence. I appreciate it. Again, I want to thank Joy 106.3 for this opportunity. We are tomorrow excited about the Community Business Roundup. It is our launching of the Urban Chamber of Commerce of Volusia and Flagler counties, our public display as well. And so that's tomorrow at 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Will be located at the Crab Stop, which is the owner, Mr. Oliver Ross, will be celebrating as our Blue Ribbon recipient. We're asking all business owners, all residents to come out to frequent this business, to purchase something between the hours of 11 and 2. All day long as well, but we're for sure from 11 to 2, we're asking you to come out and to be a part of that. This opportunity will be quarterly. It will be on an ongoing basis of building up business, supporting business, and bringing about community unity. And so the Community Business Roundup, I think, is going to be a great asset to our community and to the business owners at large.
All right, thank you. And again, I want to lastly here give out your contact information. Website is businesswiththu.org. On Facebook at bizwiththu. And also contact number is 539-444-8438. That's 539-444-8438. Thank you for being a guest. Did you have anything else you want to share?
Mr. Terrence, you've been a great host. I want to thank you. I want to thank Mr. Devin Bradley, our community relations representative. I want to thank Mrs. Belinda Williams-Collins, our public relations representative, for being with us on the call today. And again, God bless you to our city, our county. We look forward to a great year ahead.
All right. Well, thank you. That concludes our show, and thanks everyone for listening.